Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session of Saturday Talk by JanyuTechnologies. Today, we are privileged to have Mr. P. Srinivas Reddy ji for today's session. A brief introduction about P.S. Reddy sir. P.S. Reddy sir has done his BSc in Electronics and Communications and BTech from University of Allahabad. Currently, he is working as a Chief Technology Officer with Computer Age Management Services Limited on a full-time basis. Today, he is going to speak on cyber security topic about threats and challenges. Over to you, Reddy sir, from here. Thank you so much.
Why the leadership role is in cybersecurity is critical. Nowadays, cybersecurity is a very critical for any organization as such, whether it is a regulated company or a non-regulated company, because cyber threats are day-to-day basis are increasing. Ransomware attacks are increasing. If I compare after Corona, after pandemic situation, ransom attacks increased by almost 70% across the globe. In one particular day, an average of more than 200 companies are getting compromised. Threat actors are compromising all the systems and taking control of the company and demanding the money. And majority, it is a public, because I worked in Cognizant. It is a listed company where we need to disclose. Okay, during a pandemic, we paid around close to 540 crores as a ransom, 540 crores rupees. So that is the demand what these people are demanding, these cyber actors. So that kind of cyber threats are happening across the globe. So leadership role in cyber security is very critical, and ensure that management is fully aware of the cyber security, what cyber security team is doing. Cyber security is not the team which are going to responsible. Cyber security is the responsibility of everyone, because everyone is accessing emails, everyone is accessing internet on a daily basis, everyone is clicking so many links. So that is the main root cause of any cyber incident. So board oversight is very critical for the cyber risk. They should know what are the risks as an organization they are going through, and what kind of risks they are getting on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. To give an example for this particular one, my previous role in 2022, I gave a presentation to my board on June 3rd of 2021, then saying that we are very weak on cyber security, then I need around 8 million budget for this. And board said, okay, we'll think over it and get back to you. And they took more than a month. That month end, we've been compromised. So June 30th, we got compromised. So within 30 days, highlighting the risk. So board oversight on cyber risk is very critical, and board should aware what kind of exposure we have from the cyber point of view. And the critical role is a CEO and CFO and CHRO. CHRO from the point of educating all the employees why cyber security is critical and what they should know from the cyber security. And from the CFO, from the point of approving the budgets, it is a critical, very difficult task to get approval from CFO, because any cyber tools are like a cost. It is not a revenue. That's what any CFO thinks that. But we need to educate the CFO. What is the legal limitation if his company compromises or anything happens to the organization from the security standpoint of view, how it is going to impact the revenue of the company. And the CEO role, we all know it is very critical. And most critical one in any organization is the incident response team. So any company, definitely cyber attacks will happen. Some of the companies knows that there is a cyber attack. Some of the companies don't know that there is something going on inside. There are only two people in this world. Some people know that cyber attacks is there in that company, and some people don't know that even though that is there. So then budget and approving the budgets and policies are very critical. The cyber security policies, that is the asset management policy, user awareness program. So especially the cyber attacks are increasing from work from home users after pandemic, because these millennials, the kids who born after 96, who came into work, they don't know how to connect. They don't know how to connect to the networks. But they know what applications are there on cyber security in the net, and how they can utilize that. Without analyzing the risk, they click everything. They don't know the risk. So that's where is a more problem for cyber security teams to handle this millennials and Gen Z kids now. Gen Z kids who born after 2001. So these are two kids difficult to manage from the cyber standpoint of view, because they know everything. They born with the IT, they born with the computers, they know each and everything. So difficult to manage them. And cybersecurity frameworks are very critical for any organization, like ISO 27K, or NIST platforms. These are the where cyber security controls, what are the controls relevant to the specific industry. If it is in a manufacturing industry, what are the security frameworks are required? If it is IT company, what are the like pharma companies, HIPAA compliance are critical. Like that, there are different cyber controls are there, cyber security frameworks are there for the various organizations. So it is a mandate for the management team to ask their teams to follow the cyber security frameworks to ensure that proper controls are there in the organization from the security standpoint of view. And this cyber incident response plans has to be tested very, very regularly. Otherwise, this become irrelevant because the threats are increasing on a daily basis. And regulatory risks are very, very critical if it is a regulated company like where I work. We are SEBI regulated, IRDA regulated, RVA regulated, and NIST regulated. We have so many regulations. So we need to comply with all the regulations. All that very, very critical on a monthly, quarterly basis. And one more is the security awareness training. It is a mandate for any employee who join the organization. They has to undergo security awareness trainings from the day they join any organization. And biannual, they need to undergo again a refresher security awareness training because the cyber threats are increasing on a regular basis. And third-party vendor risks. So what are these third-party vendor risks, sir? In any organization, we may have ERP system, we have CRM systems, but we also connect with various other service providers where interconnections happens. That's where the security is becoming very, very critical because we don't know what kind of access management they follow, what kind of data management they follow, how they encrypt the data during the transit, how they connect to our systems. That is a critical thing to follow before giving any access to the third-party risks. Majority of the cyber incidents, around 30 to 40% of cyber incidents are happening because of this third-party vendor risks. So any doubts, questions till now, I'm happy to answer. If I'm going completely different, which is not relevant, then tell me, then I will change my topics.
The same way, what are the things that what is the cyber security that is required and how it is incorporated, that you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So key cyber risks for the executives at a senior level, one is a phishing and spear phishing attacks. Majorly their email phishing attacks are happening. So specific to this, I will give one classic example in my previous organization. They impersonated our CEO's photo and they've taken his phone number from the internet and they called our employees. They captured all the information about the company and they targeted our company for the compromise. So these kind of phishing attacks are very common and very frequent. And generally senior leadership uses their personal email for business purposes. That is a good habit, some people say, but as a cyber expert, I'm saying that is a very not a friendly advice not to use at all any personal email for business purpose at all. Okay. The ransom attacks where people take a control of your systems, demand for money, and till the time you pay for that money, they don't give the decryption keys and they stall our business. And it is a very reputational loss. And especially in this AI era, shadow IT is critical because everyone thinks that everyone knows, everyone is downloading AI tools or AI applications. And they think that AI is helping them on a day-to-day productivity point of view. But they're not thinking of the risk of the AI, how it is going to impact the organization. And for example, in last week, one of the company HR team has downloaded one AI recruitment tool without informing anyone in the organization. So the entire company got compromised. It is I'm talking about a very big global MNC company, which has close to 150,000 employees. So these kind of attacks, because this is called shadow IT, they don't know what kind of tools they need to download. So the AI is creating a lot of problem from the cyber security point of view. And social engineering and impersonating, that's what I just gave an examples. And the criticality and in a cyber security is majority of the cyber incidents happen internally from our own employees. Last Diwali, 2024 Diwali, all the Infosys employees got email from Narayan Murthy saying that I'm giving a bonus for everyone. So around 5,200 people clicked that link, out of which 2,500 are senior VP and above. So they assumed that Narayan Murthy sent a mail, they got the bonus, and all the systems got compromised. So these kind of attacks are common, and cyber security comes from the endpoint security first. How we are going to protect our endpoint, that is our laptop or desktop. And next is the end user security. As an end user, how I am connecting to the system, how I am using the passwords. Am I using a multi-factor authentication? I sincerely request all of you, any of the applications if people are using, whether it is a public or a private or dedicated to your company, use MFA for all the applications, all public applications, private applications, and your company-owned applications also. MFA is a mandate. At least we are minimizing the risk. I'm not saying eliminating the risk. We are minimizing the risk with the MFA. So that is the end user security standpoint of view. Everyone should use MFA. Everyone should try to encrypt the files when they are transferring the files. And as much as possible, don't attach files in the emails. Try to upload in the Dropbox or a Google Drive or a OneDrive for Office 365, so that there is an encryption, there is a transition encryption will be there, and proper transport of when they are transporting the files, proper security will be followed. So that is the end user. Endpoint security, don't download any files on the laptops or desktops, and use licensed endpoint security systems, especially EDR, XDR solutions nowadays, where threat detection happens on a real-time threat detection happens. If there are any threats on the desktop, laptops, immediately as the cyber experts will get to know that there are cyber incidents going on that system. So that is the endpoint security. Then the application security, all the applications which we people are using it or downloading it or using a SaaS application. So whenever we are using any software as a service, like Office 365, everyone are using, that is called a software as a service. Or Salesforce as an application, maybe some of you may be using Salesforce as a service. So how you are using it, what kind of authentication they are using it, how they are encrypting the data, where they are storing the data, and when we need that data, how we need to get the data back when we cancel the contract for any software as a service vendor. When we cancel the service, how we can get the data and ensure that they don't have any of our confidential information. That is also critical. And classifying the documents. When we are preparing any documents, we need to classify the documents in the top bottom of the document, saying that confidential internal use, classification like a public, private, confidential, internal use only. So how this will help is when you are trying to send this kind of applications, we can enable this DLP, data loss prevention, in the email. If it is a confidential information, some employee is sending company confidential information through email, it will block immediately. So that data loss prevention at the endpoint level, we can block it, and will ensure that they're not transporting any of our confidential or internal use data outside the network. So this is called a DLP, data loss prevention. And also at the endpoint level, we need to block all the USB drives so that no one can download or upload files into the system. Block USB drives, ensure that no one has access to any USB or a Type-C except for the charging or a mouse. We should not give access to any employee in the organization to use this kind of ports from their laptop or desktop, because that is the highest threat which comes from there. And at the email level, spoofing of emails and downloading the links and sending the confidential information outside. So these are the email level. And also there is something called a DDoS attack. So what this DDoS attack does is, when we have the network which is sending emails and everything outside the organization, they will try to send data to our network. This is called distributed denial of service attacks. What they will do is, when we are processing or when we are sending any communication outside the world, they will send a lot of data to our network so that none of our data moves outside the network. That is called DDoS attacks. So these are the endpoint attack, email attack, application attack, and DDoS attack. These are the main commonly used attacks generally any attacker follows. And any of the attacks which happens to any organization will not happen overnight. They will enter somehow using a privileged user. Some of your system admins who has a complete super admin privileges, they will try to attack them first, and they will sit in our network for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months and capture what our network is doing it, then start trying to attack. So that kind of campaigning they will do. It will take minimum 3 to 6 months if any organization get compromised. Will take minimum 3 to 6 months, and they demand money on that. And why this happens is majorly the systems which are end of service, where our guys are not updating latest patches, latest firmware updates to these systems. So these kind of things only creating a lot of risks in the security standpoint of view. Any doubts, questions? I'm happy to answer before I continue.
Sir, question generally we take at the end of the sessions.
Okay. So these are some of the cyber attacks what I was talking about. So in real time, what I experienced, what the book, what I wrote, I can share with all of you. So I gone through with the 2 cyber attacks in my last 5 years of experience. Okay, in one of the cyber incident, generally these guys will attack DNS, that is a domain naming services. That's where that when you type something, it will resolve the domain name, that is called DNS service. They try to attack DNS first, and they entered into our systems, and they taken a control of one of our privileged user laptop, and from there they compromised close to 252 of our servers, and they demanded almost $25 million as a ransom. And we started negotiating during pandemic, and finally we are able to negotiate and paid around 2.5 million ransom to them. So what they do is they try to get our cyber insurance document also, and they will exploit from there, and they will ensure that we'll pay for them all the ransom. And there is no guarantee that they don't misuse that data. It is only in a gentleman agreement. They don't give any proofs that they deleted our data, what they stolen from our network. They never give that kind of evidences at all. So they generally say that it is a gentleman agreement. We are clear, you are clear, and pay the money. So when these cyber incidents happens, insurance companies generally don't pay the insurances, and they will get lot of cyber forensic investigation teams to check that our network was strong during that cyber incident, and they checked all our systems and they found some loopholes in our network. So when we went for the next renewal for the insurance, they never paid. They never gave me insurance. So why, when any cyber incident happens, we should not allow announce to the market that there was a cyber incident in our organization for minimum of 48 to 72 hours. With my experience, I'm telling this, because the cyber attackers don't know that which company they attacked, because on a daily basis they attack hundreds of companies. Which company got compromised, they don't know. If we start announcing, then 10 people come saying that we attacked, you pay, we attack, you pay. So first 48 to 72 hours, we should keep quiet and do all the controls, whatever possible way to control and security standpoint of view, and from the network, application, endpoint security standpoint of view. Then try to say that yes, if it is a listed company, we need to announce to the stock exchange saying that our company is compromised and we are investigating it. Then that attackers will come and start demanding the money. So it is a critical that we should not announce immediately. And before we go for any cyber insurance renewal, we need to ensure that all the security controls are in place. We invested proper security tools, and that cyber insurance company will come and do the hacking again. They appoint hackers, and they will try to hack our company from the outside and see that our company is safe and secure. Then only they will give the premium. So that's what it is in a real time it happens. So on an average daily, we come across thousands of attacks on a real time, because in an EDR system when we deploy, so how the threats are coming from outside. For example, yesterday we got around 220 attacks yesterday evening from 7 to 11. There was an application which is public facing application. It is a mutual fund purchasing application. So there was a bot attack to that application. Through bot, they are sending a lot of data to ensure that that application is not accessible to all the users, so that attackers can take a control of that. So that is the way how the attackers will do. So the cyber security, as I explained, endpoint, end user, application, the network standpoint of view, all the network switches and firewalls. So generally the perception is firewall will protect everything. So firewall is not going to firewall will protect some extent, but firewall is not going to protect everything. So firewalls are again different firewalls are there. There is an application firewall, network firewall, and also web application firewalls. There are 3-4 kinds of firewalls are there in any organization, which are very on a public facing applications will have all these firewalls, not just the network firewall. So that's why these firewall engineers are very high demand in the market now. Then after firewalls, again, there is a SIM, that is a security incident and event management system, where all the threats comes from the firewalls endpoints, and they correlate from where these incidents are coming and how we are going to protect these incidents and to ensure that these incidents are not going to repeat. That is called SIM. On top of it, again, we also have something called a dark web. So I hope majority of you are aware of what dark web does. So the cyber attackers, they all sit on the on the dark web, and they try to exploit our emails, our websites, and everything. All the data, majority of that data will be there in a dark web. There are companies specialized in a dark web who do dark web hunting and monitoring. So how our brand is doing in the dark web, they will do monitoring and they will give a score on a monthly basis. And they also do the hunting, how our company data is residing in a dark web, how many times our data has been breached we are not aware of it. So all the darknet hunting tools are there where I can go and see that how many times my data is gone to the dark web, how many times it has been compromised, how many email got compromised, what was the threat. So all that I can do with the darknet hunting tools, and brand image, all that I can do in the darknet. So these are at a high level at the cyber security I'm talking about. I'm not going into the tools and details at the low level.
I was asking which is the safest of is it Internet Explorer, Chrome, or Firefox? Which is the safest of this?
See, both Chrome or Internet Explorer are equally safe. But only thing is there are some security features available in Chrome or Edge or Explorer. Some security applications like if you go to the settings, there you have the various security controls. For example, passwords not to store in Chrome or Edge. Whenever you are typing any passwords, it will store it there. So that is a very high risk. So those kind of some of the security features which are available in Edge or Chrome, we need to disable these kind of things to protect ourselves, not to compromise. If you go to settings in a Chrome, there are autofill passwords, privacy and setting. If you go to the security concerns, there are a lot of features like a standard protection, enhanced protection. So these kind of protection features are already available in the Chrome. And there is a new feature what Chrome or Edge launched is you can always go and check whether your Chrome is compromised or not. It will give that also.
Good evening, sir. My name is Sohan. Sir, with the rise of AI and the security when we are, coding, or in today's terms, we could call vibe coding. So, and many companies, do allow the vibe coding part. So later, there are tools like, Code Rabbit and everything, where you can do a cyber check on the code, but it is still insecure. So how do we tackle that part?
See, we need to, Sohan, this is a very good question. So we need to do the code reviews, security reviews on a regular basis. Okay. And at all stages of coding, we need to do, because nowadays the code is reused, at least 30 to 40% of the code is reused for the various purpose. Now coming into AI coming into picture, that 40% will become 80%. And only 20% only the people are further developing for any new product. So definitely, as you rightly mentioned, security is a bigger concern there. And there are a lot of AI tools which will give you real-time security scanning of that code and ensure that security features we need to follow, security framework which we need to follow at code level every moment.
As you can see, like the AI is increasing in every field. Okay. So like from 5 years from now, what do you think? Like there will be less job in cybersecurity, or it will be much more?
Cybersecurity jobs will increase because of the AI definitely. Yeah. Because the risks are high, and also cyber incidents are going to go, and we saw bio wars. Now next is the cyber wars, which are going to come into picture for sure. Next feature is cyber wars.
In terms like if you want to, go like, like if I do a research, there's a lot of, resources available for normal security. Like there's a try hack me and hack the box that gives you a very good understanding of software security or your system security. But if you want to, deep dive into the IoT part of the industry, so where could we start guidance with that?
See, in the IoT sector, especially, still the if we ask maturity level on the IoT level as compared to the non-IoT where security is, still the maturity is not to that extent in a IoT level, because default credentials are there in the device. The IoT devices generally with the default credentials it will come. That weak known passwords, generally they use it. When I'm building a system, laptop or a desktop or a server, default I never keep that admin as a user in my desktop, laptop or in a server. I will change that name and I will keep a strong password. Whereas when it comes to the IoT, that maturity level is not that much now. So default credentials are there, and also unencrypted communication. So especially data sent in a clear text, it is not encrypted in IoT devices. Lack of updates, especially in IoT devices, that firmware updates are not happening very frequently because that kind of awareness is not there in the market yet. And device spoofing, attacks are clone, impersonate devices. These kind of things are happening. For example, in one of the casino in US, there was an IoT device in the aquarium and they gave a public IP for that, and hacker entered from there. And one more is the unauthorized access, weak authentication and access controls which are followed in IoT devices as compared to non-IoT devices where strong passwords are there. But in IoT devices, generally weak authentication and access controls are there and as on today. And also third-party components, when these IoT devices are connecting to any third-party devices, still that maturity is not there. That weakness, cyber security weakness is still there. So these are the maturity problems in the IoT cyber security standpoint as on today.
Sir, one question from me. I just want to know how effective are these antivirus software, sir? Means by accident or by mistake we can click on the links, but does this antivirus software protects us from getting this malware downloaded on our system and giving the chance for hackers to take our data?
See, nowadays, no one in any organization, no one is using antivirus. Okay, everyone is called EDR solution. That is endpoint detection and response systems. That is a real-time endpoint detection. Means real-time it will detect and protect the endpoint. And a personal use, we may purchase antivirus, Sophos or whatever. Even Sophos has a EDR and XDR solution. So EDR, what I recommend for any of the systems when it is a personal or a official system, because that gives a real-time detection and protection to the systems. So no more security, endpoint security is going to help us from the cyber security standpoint of view.